we're all gonna.
Yeah. We're talking.
So let's have fun.
We should just make it a tradition and rank the dungeons
of
A Link Between Worlds.
Of A Link Between Worlds.
Or you ask some interview questions.
Because I kind of want to talk about this.
I have some interview questions.
You don't need to talk to it that closely.
Yeah, no, you can hear you.
Don't kiss the microphone.
Can I do the NPR?
Okay.
So guys.
Well, we can't hear you then.
It was your first. Oh, this goes to Elias and Ashley.
NPR radio.
Oh.
How was your experience in your first race at the Zelda Dungeon Marathon?
Go ahead, Elias.
It was great.
It was great.
What?
It was for these two.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How about?
It was everything I expected and more. It was awesome. I had a really great time.
I was doubting my ability to keep up with them.
And then you won.
And then you crushed
since
it.
I learned that I was racing them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty close. We got some lead switches, which is nice, and ultimately I won. So it was a very good race. Yeah.
You're not. This wasn't like your first live stream race or anything, right?
No, actually, but no.
So that didn't play a big factor.
No, yeah.
But you.
It was my first.
Were you nervous?
I was a little nervous, but less nervous than I actually expected I would be. Both of these guys, they're professionals in every sense of the word, and they made me feel right at home, and they were encouraging, and they were right behind me when I finished. And
we were to the side, actually.
We were all very close.
Are you hearing what I'm saying to you right now?
We were very close.
Proximity is
These are very
the real
kind
factor
words,
here,
and I deal with compliments with jokes.
Yeah. Kevin, what are you here for? What are you?
I'm just having fun.
You got any thoughts?
I think he was supposed to be interviewing us until Massey's.
Let's start back. Let's reset.
Let's dish some questions and some feelings on this run, because this was a very, very close, like probably one of the closest runs, especially of this game, that we've had at the ZD Marathon.
No, absolutely
not. No, we had yours that was very close, within like 10 seconds.
Yeah. I would have won, but I died at Yuga Ganon.
Oh, man. It's unfortunate.
And, well, first of all, Josh would have won, but he died at Yuga Ganon. And then I would have won, but he died at Yuga Ganon. And then he didn't die at Yuga Ganon.
I also had the better strats because I got the gold sword and I knew where the red veil was.
Their run.
Yeah, you guys want to talk more about the run from previous years?
Do you guys want to stay
No, we just don't want this fake news coming out of Mr. O'Rourke here.
Right.
Doesn't know what he's talking about. Trying to do color commentary. Continue.
Anyway, we all had a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a blast.
We had you reading donations. We got a few donations during that race, which
there
was
was
really
a lot,
nice.
yeah. Especially
really
like
nice.
for like a game that's kind of like overnight. Or
Well,
maybe
it
some
was
people are like going to bed and stuff.
Like on the West Coast, it was still pretty evening.
Yeah, no, it's only like midnight now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's a Sunday, so like we have everybody going to work.
It's
tomorrow.
a weekday.
Sit down, boss. Come here.
Yeah, no, it was close in a fun way.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel.
What was the part of the run that challenged you guys the most? What do you feel like?
Oh, that's a good question.
I know that person.
You ran Zelda Eternity.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Is there one that sticks out to you? I'm trying to think.
Honestly, no. There's a couple little things that happened that were a little frustrating, but nothing that. It was a pretty. I think we all had a pretty solid run.
I actually panicked in Dark Palace because I used my last small key in the wrong place. And didn't really know where the other small key was.
Well, that just goes to show you quick thinking on your part.
So I had to go look for it.
You know, you still made it through pretty
and I still had a couple of deaths that set me back as well.
There was a few, which seems like
one towards the end of Ice Palace, which was not great.
Yeah, it's not good to die in this game. It puts you back
like
quite
waving
a bit,
on camera.
I was really hoping the deaths were gonna that was gonna be the difference maker.
Well, the one in Ice Palace, it did put me behind you.
Yeah.
But then I made it up in Turtle Rock because I took a shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for the future, if I ever do it again, it's like, okay, maybe you learn to go out with some bottles, go without some bottles, or the second sword upgrade or whatever.
Yeah, definitely for me, it's just being comfortable and confident in my own abilities to forego some cushion, like bottles and fairies and upgrades.
That goes over to, like, that's how, for me in other races, it's been over time, like, just slowly being like, okay, I guess I don't need that this time around.
If you ran it back immediately right now, would you skip the sword upgrade?
I'd try it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How well would you do with
I don't
how
want to think
comfortable
about. I don't
would you
want to
feel
think
with
about
that?
a Link Between Worlds at all anymore.
Yeah, I would probably do it in a practice run and not just, when I saw that he didn't get it, well, I had already gotten it, but say I had seen it mid run, I don't think I would have changed my run just because then it's like. Then if something did go wrong, then I'd get all stressed out, and I'd start flailing and panicking, and I'd rather just have a solid, comfortable run than, like, try to overextend myself.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than, like, trying to, like, change a thing on the fly in the middle of a run, especially at an event where you have, like, eyes on you. So I thought it was really cool that...
Constant distractions.
Yeah, people screaming in the other room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did not have any distractions.
Definitely interesting that you and I were neck and neck. No one was talking about that. They were all talking about what was going on behind us.
Back there.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we did get a lot of donations and a lot of people in the chat, and that's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Shout outs to you guys.
Yeah.
And your wallets.
And shout out to, and Kayla was, like, relaying stuff from the chat, and there was a lot of words of encouragement. So.
It's really helpful to have someone reading off the highlights in chat during a race, because you can't take your eyes off the screen most of the time.
Yeah, it's hard.
Chat.
Yeah.
And even if we have it on the big TVs, it's hard. Like, I feel like it's weird playing the 3DS and seeing, like, not only do you have, like, people don't see this that are watching live, but, like, you have the 3DS in front of you, and then you have, like, the big TV with the output, and then you have, like, the super giant one. So, like, you kind of have, like, 3 feeds, and you can see everybody else's game.
Yeah.
So it's, like, a little...
And I did use that at the beginning, because at the beginning we were all doing the same thing up until Hera or the Wind Temple, whatever it's called. Tower of something. I don't remember. Anyway, it was curious to see, like, oh, okay, I got ahead of them here. Oh, but they went and got this. I need to go get this. Oh, now it's just completely diverged, so I can worry about my own thing. Like,
yeah, it can be a little demoralizing, especially if, like, you look up and you're like, oh man, I died, and then you're looking at, like,
I did really well.
Like, oh yeah, you did really great.
Yeah, if I look up and I see the items falling out of your body, I'm like,
yes.
That's an eye catcher.
For me, it was both of you guys, like, oh god, I don't remember this part at all. Like, I don't know what to do here, and I'm like, you guys were ahead of me the whole time, and I never had that. I never had that issue.
I will say one of the hang-ups I had.
Doing.
There was a part in Swamp Palace where I just had to stop and think, because I was just like,
there are times I did that too.
I've done 2 laps around this dungeon and I can't remember where to go.
Well, so there were some dungeons in the middle where I had all these notes for it, but I was like, if I look down at my notes, I'm going to lose time, and I'm also going to forget, I'm going to lose track, and I'm going to be checking every second. Yeah. So I'm just going to go without it. But then later on, and I had the same moment as you, where the later dungeons are a bit more complicated. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I've got to take it easy, and go step by step, and just like take a breath.
I feel like the big ones in this game, in particular, are like the Ice Palace and the Swamp Palace.
Yes.
I feel like they're like good time sinks. They're really fun dungeons, but like there's a lot going on. I don't know, were you guys like kind of lost in some of them, or like, especially in Swamp Palace where it's like everything's sort of mirrored in a way? Like, what's the strategy going in there?
Swamp Palace was when I got lost in the most by far. Sometimes Ice Palace.
Are you alive? Hi, Mom.
Guys, Skip's mom is here.
Off camera, but...
But yeah, no, I think it was mostly Ice Palace, especially because I had practiced a lot recently, like yesterday, up until yesterday. So a lot of the layouts were kind of more fresh in my mind, I think.
Gotcha.
Except Swamp Palace.
Swamp Palace is tough.
Swamp Palace I had carved out a specific route for, and for me, that one just has a lot of it where when you're in a room, like, the rooms are unique and memorable enough to where I now had this is the room I have to do this in. And then the bigger question was just like, where do you go from there? So that one wasn't tough. Maybe because the Ice Palace is like you're constantly going, basement 2 to basement 4 or whatever, and dropping down.
The floor literally changes on you.
Yeah,
I died in the middle of it, so I had to come back into it and be like, how do I get back to where I was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it a lot tougher. I don't know. Swamp Palace, Ice Palace.
I think with Swamp Palace, it's just a matter of understanding that like a lot of the rooms are mirrored, and you don't need to go in both sides. You only need to take one route, and then just memorizing that route. And I didn't have any issues with Swamp Palace, and I didn't have any issues with Ice Palace because I just memorized my route. I'm just not as fast.
Yeah, she should have won. What can I ask you? How come you decided to go to Hera before the Palace of Winds?
I think that was something I decided early on. I did originally do the Winds part originally, and I think I switched it up early on, and there was a reason behind it. I just can't remember now, and I don't want to say something that's not true, but I think, and it was just something that once I decided it, I just kind of stuck to my guns, and it just kind of worked for me. And I think being the person that did lose, but I still think that it shouldn't have mattered too much.
No, I think those two are kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
Because you kind of start from the same place in both.
And you kind of have to like go out of there's not like a quick way to get to either one.
You gotta hike up that mountain.
I think what it was, talking about how I like having a cushion, those fairies are an easy grab in the Tower of Hera.
Yeah.
And knowing that I could grab 2 fairies early on in the game that I could just relax on was what sold it for me.
Yeah. So talking about dungeon order still then, we both started with Thieves' Town.
Yeah.
And then I went to Palace of Darkness right away. Where did you guys go?
I went to Dark Palace.
So I went to Swamp just because when you're done with Thieves' Town, the bomb shop guy is just right down there.
Okay, yeah.
And I guess you get the mail in the Swamp Palace.
Right.
So
you want to get the defense as soon as possible.
I was never really hurting for health often. I mean, I would have died if I didn't have fairies at times, but I don't think going for the mail early is that big of a thing. Okay. But it's just because the bomb shop is there.
And then, did you do Dark Palace after that?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your third dungeon?
The Lost Woods.
Lost Woods. Okay. I think mine
Skullwoods?
was as well.
Skullwoods, yeah.
So weird.
Speaking of Lost Woods, though.
I'm already losing information as we sit here.
After you're done, you're just like, all right,
it's finished. We've passed that bridge.
Yeah.
Let's talk really quick about like some of the bosses of this game. Were there any that kind of gave some trouble? I feel like
the Helmasaur knockoff.
Yeah, the Gemasaur.
Gemasaur.
I feel like he gave some trouble for everybody, right?
He always does.
He's a little random.
For me. He always does.
He never really for me. The first phase, I just throw like 4 or 5 bombs and he's done, ready for the hard phase. Yeah. But it took me like nine bombs to get his first phase down. I guess wasn't hitting his
movement is kind of weird.
I think your conversation is getting picked up on the chat, just so you know. Okay.
The greatest all the founding fathers.
Mossies. They can hear you guys talk about this.
Thanks, Taylor.
This is not really appropriate.
Talking at 100 decibels.
This one's to my boy.
Please calm down.
John Adams, the greatest founding father that ever lived.
All right, we're shutting this down.
Hopefully that got it out of his system.
Yeah, thanks, John.
All right.
Maybe I can run think brought now. To you by John Adams. Instead of John Adams, why don't we talk about some of the other bosses in the game? Gemasaur was kind of rough. I don't know. Are there any other ones that are like kind of crazy in this? I feel like there's a lot of really cool, like interesting and fun bosses in this game.
Honestly, the bosses, besides that one, don't really give me much trouble.
Moldorm 1 knocked me out for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
This time.
I saw a couple of bonks off,
I almost died there,
off the top from Moldorm.
Yeah.
It's a little different too from like in Link to the Past where you can hold your sword out and like buffer off the walls. You can't really do that here.
Yeah. I
grabbed Majora's Mask Fairy too. Sorry.
Yeah, Ganon. The Ganon tennis was sometimes
It could be a little...
didn't go our way.
Yeah.
You didn't get a good return. You hit your backhand.
You know what's interesting about that? Like on my previous playthroughs, I've always just never had a problem with that phase, and just the last couple of weeks, I've had a couple playthroughs of this game.
Start overanalyzing.
And it started happening, and I was like, no, not now.
Yeah, I think if I had you were so close to passing me because I couldn't do that tennis.
That was so crazy.
And then you died too.
I can think of a couple little things that happened to me in Literal Castle that if it hadn't happened.
I don't think Yuga Ganon is RNG based. Like, I think you literally just have to hit it at the right time. Because the times I messed up, I remember swinging early and then like swinging again, and I hit it, but not.
You have to really falter in your movement or your sword swings to not hit.
So I won't accept that. It was my lack of polish in my gameplay there.
Yeah. Good runs though, all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very competitive race.
I'm happy to not think about it for the next year or so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're taking a break from A Link Between Worlds.
Actually, I might be playing it as a youth.
Until you cram it next year, maybe.
I might be thinking about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you could be a 2-time champ.
I don't know if we'll race it because I don't know if we have as many 3DS captures. That's the blocker, really.
Hey, if you bring your own BYO 3DSC.
BYO 3DSC. Yeah.
All right, let's rank the dungeons.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
So what? Number 1.
Who's number 1?
Eastern Palace. You don't even have to do most of it.
It's so short.
Yeah, it's fun to get all the collectibles.
A third of the dungeon is just getting out.
Yeah, that's true. It's fine.
It's an escape-based dungeon.
It's an escape room as a dungeon.
I don't know what my favorite dungeon in this would be. Thieves Down is pretty unique.
Thieves Down?
But it's still kind of stealth mission-y for half of it.
That's my least favorite.
Yeah.
You had your best friend there, though. You had Thief Girl.
I know, but then you got all those creeps trying to steal her away.
The thieves.
Yeah.
You're in their town.
They're thirsty for my girlfriend.
They're thieving.
I like that it's got like a character involved and there's a story to it, and you learn that song to get into.
It's not very pretty.
Well, no, it's
most of the low roll dungeons are not that pretty.
Is that the idea behind them?
I do like how Desert Palace is actually dungeon in the light world, and then the boss only is in the dark world.
That's a fun boss too for me. He's fun.
Yeah, it's one of the more ones where I have no idea how it's gonna go as soon as I go up to it, because sometimes it's just easy and then sometimes I just get bodied and die.
Can we just interjection? Can we say that I was dealing with a faulty 3DS?
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
My control pad kept falling off. It kept flopping off.
Did you just take it off at one point and play?
No, I just put it back on. At one point, I actually paused the game to put it back on.
Well, Gooey took a bathroom break.
That was a.
Yeah, I think we evened it out.
I don't know. That was not my choice.
I took advantage of both
choice.
of your pauses to
take a bathroom break.
You had the baby 3DS.
It was your choice to
really
put the circle pad back on.
So it could have been even closer. If he hadn't taken the bathroom break and you hadn't had the controller issues.
I was having controller issues. Never had controller issues.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite dungeon?
Yeah, it was a little too fast.
We don't have to rank
Taylor.
them.
Yeah,
he went a little too fast.
There's a lot of dungeons.
Very suspect.
But your number one.
There's like 10 to 12 dungeons in this game.
Yeah, it's a very dungeon-heavy game, but they're really fun.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
It's Eastern Palace. It's okay.
Eastern Palace is basic. The Wind
Tower
is okay.
It's fun.
Hera's a classic.
Yeah.
Ice Palace.
No.
Fun for me.
Is that numero uno though?
I like the uniqueness, but then it's just sometimes like annoyingly difficult.
But
like
you
ice.
Just gotta get
slipping
good.
around.
I did.
Once you get good,
you got so much
really
confidence for your first race losing.
I actually did really good in that palace.
Yeah, you did. You caught up.
I skated right through. That's where I caught up to you. Yeah. I skated right through there.
Skated right through Ice Palace. Turtle Rock is. I like this Turtle Rock a lot better than Link to the Past Turtle Rock for sure. I too skipped past most of it, but.
I feel like there's a good mix of like, because obviously like you're comparing this game no matter what side by side with Link to the Past, and I feel like there's a lot of iconic dungeons in that game, but this is like a reflavor of those. Mm-hmm. So like I mean, for me, I didn't play the game this year, but I feel like Tower of Terror is very different. That's a fun dungeon. Turtle Rock is very different too. The Ice Palace is very different. But I don't know, like anything that stands out that's like, hey, I like this in Link to the Past, but it was different and I like it because of that.
I'll probably go with Hera because it was pretty different in this one, and it's a fun one.
And
the verticality to it and everything.
It feels like a tower, like you're climbing a tower.
Yeah.
It's not too challenging. It's very quick, but it's like just fun to climb up the tower.
Yeah.
That might be the best dungeon in the game. I don't know. For me.
A good one.
Can't give a definitive. Really, I enjoy
a lot of them are really good.
I enjoy a lot of them.
It's a strong point of the game.
Some of them I get to like. I really like. Is it Dark Palace?
Dark Palace is cool.
I really do like it.
I like seeing.
I just kind of dread it a little bit, and like Thieves' Hideout, I dread a little bit. The Skull Woods, I dread a little bit because of all of those. Wall Masters.
Yeah. Okay. Anything with a Wall Master is like.
They all have things that stress me out, but I like.
Especially when you have to use them and keep them alive for a while.
I like that the Skull Woods kept the going in and out of the dungeon in the overworld. That's cool.
And it taunts you. It keeps the portrait visible from anywhere you surface.
That's one thing I like about this game is like the unique little rooms the portraits are all in. It's like in Link's Awakening when you get that special little room to get the instrument.
The dungeons are all really unique.
It's cute.
There's a lot of strong points to this game.
In Thieves Town, you go into just like the nearby house, to get the portrait. I think that's really cute.
Just behind a locked door in a house, along with the sand rod and a heart container.
The sand rod stuff is fun, also.
Yeah. The Desert Palace is a lot of fun.
This palace, I feel like, is just long.
It is long. I think it's the longest one.
It's still good, though. I think
there's some good puzzles in there, right? They're pretty fun to do.
It's got some
good
music.
Some block pushing. You're pushing gargoyles around.
Yeah, I like I like when you're messing with the gargoyles in the desert.
Yep.
Making the arrow shoot the switch. That's
fun. Oh yeah, that's fun.
There's some cool ones.
When I was relearning this game, I was like, oh yeah, that's how that works. That's really cool.
Yeah, A Link Between Worlds is a strong game for dungeons, I'd say. A lot of them are simple and quick.
It's got 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it has the right amount of dungeons too, and the fact that you can so all three of you did dungeons in different orders, at some point at least. So I feel like there's some freedom. Like you all finished in very close times.
Yeah, you guys did Turtle Rock first before Ice Palace. I did Ice Palace before Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
So I feel like having that variety. I don't know, for you guys that ran it, is it cool to be able to just kind of choose?
Aside from definitive moments where I died in Ice Palace or something like that, you really didn't know who was gonna win or who was in the lead until
it was very hard to tell.
Yeah, because some it's the lead up to the dungeon is you walk into the dungeon. Others it's okay. You got to do this
go down a mountain, crosses the mirror world, go back up the mountain.
I hate that one. But yeah, I don't know. It's
Would any of you, looking back at it now, change the order of what you want to do?
No, I don't think so.
You're pretty content with doing it in your order?
I would just try not to die in the places I died.
Okay.
No, I like my order. I think it was Well, no, I still think it was pretty logical the way I went for it.
That said, I got my route from looking at a world record video and then just adapting it to fit my accessibility.
Okay, that sounds like a Kevin play, right? It's classic vintage Kev.
Sure.
With some of the deaths, Elias, and some of those setbacks that come with it, you had enough rupees to purchase or to rent everything back, but do you think maybe you'd
just
scoop
barely.
up the net? Yeah.
The last time I died and rented everything, I was out.
Yeah. Do you think that scooping up the net and the bottle would help?
I think if I had, I probably would have done that if I had seen that somewhere in the route, or if I had the time to really sit down and look up where everything is and where I could take some optional stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like too with the dungeon order, Ashley, you were saying that you went to Tower of Terror to scoop up some fairies. Would you go with one less bottle?
Do you need 3 bottles?
Did the bird lover?
Oh yeah,
give you some
bird guy.
Some
Did the bird lover bless you?
He never showed up again, and I was disappointed.
Honestly, I don't know because, like I said earlier, for me, it is. There's like a mental thing there, like knowing I have that cushion.
The security blanket.
It allows me to be a little bit more reckless, and I'm a little bit more confident when I'm approaching, things, and it's like it doesn't bother me to just be hacking away, and like I'm not worried about my health as much. Like I have situations where if I know I'm going into a boss fight, and I know I have less cushion, it can get to me, and even if it's normally an easy fight, it can be a little tricky, and I wasn't ready, being a newbie, to like risk that happening like on stream. So I mean, maybe next year if I'm back.
Risky plays,
right? Like
risk
maybe.
It all on A Link Between Worlds.
See, then you die like I do, and it's just like there's no backup.
And then, but then that could be the thing.
Broke.
Like I could have done that, and then it just all could have gone horribly wrong.
Then as soon as you hear heart beeping, you're just like.
And then I'm sitting here and you guys are like, all happy, and I'm just,
Next year, hero mode.
I'm very happy with my run.
No, thank you.
I'm already playing through the game in hero mode. I didn't think I could handle that.
Oh boy.
For I guess like a more casual run of the game too. So there's a lot of like fun extra side things in A Link Between Worlds, and I feel like Goo could talk a little bit about this. But Ashley and Elias, like I'm sure you guys like A Link Between Worlds. It's a fun game. Is there any stuff that you kind of wish you could like play and kind of hang out with in this game?
You might
like
hate me for this.
Octoball?
You might hate me for
I
this.
love Octoball.
I wish all of the cutscenes weren't skippable.
Yeah.
Because it's a decent story.
Like
you see when we just let it play out after time's called, like it's a kind of an epic like little
They're also not
conclusion.
They're also not too long.
Yeah, they're not.
I feel like I feel similar to them as the ones in Ocarina of Time, where it's like you can't skip those, but it's the longest one is like a couple minutes.
Yeah, that's like the Master Sword.
And it's like even though we're not getting the text, it's like. Yeah, I remember that. That's cool,
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, like, no desire to see the Mai-Mais.
Oh, yeah, you want to get all 100 of them?
are fun.
They remind me of Koroks too much.
They're like a little, but just like as a little extra incentive, like to hear them, like when you're going through.
I think they're a good collectible.
Yeah, they're fun.
You can clear out a whole region of them. They upgrade
You get upgrades.
You upgrade like the hook shot to the nice hook shot.
Yeah,
and it's just like they're a little bit better. They're not that useful, but I think they're a good collectible because we've been doing them in our YouTube Let's Play or whatever, and like you can clear out like a whole region of them in like a couple minutes. So they're like, I don't think of them as much of the Koroks because it's just like
there's not 900.
The difference between collecting 900 Koroks and like whatever 100 Mai-Mais is like night and day.
They also let you know based on like the area of the map too. Like
the
how
map.
many are there? I think that's pretty useful.
The map is great in this game. The map in the dungeons is really helpful. Not really in our runs, but when you're like getting all the chests, that's another. Getting all the rupee chests is fun in this game because you can actually buy all the weapons.
Yeah.
Did you guys end up getting the Hylian shield?
Yeah.
No. I did up until recently, and I was talking to Mossies, and he's like, drop the shield. And I was like, no, I can't, Mossies.
It's so pretty, though.
And he's like, drop it.
It's and really satisfying when you do get it.
It is, and it's really pretty.
Now I'm complete.
There's one part in Low Castle where I depended on it, and it did hurt me.
Yep. Same.
It
was
did
that the
hurt
ball
me.
guy, or
it's when you're going through with the
bomb.
bomb, and you got that guy blowing the ice balls at you.
Oh.
Just the
and
one
you
troll
can block
guy.
it, and I haven't yet worked it out the timing. Like I knew what I was doing, but I hadn't done it enough, and he did catch me.
I was watching their run from last year. And they kept getting frozen by that guy, and like the bomb kept blowing up. So I was like, I'm keeping the shield.
Very frustrating.
Kind of lucked out with it on that run. Like I approached it, and then the guard right next to it started charging me, and it shot the guard.
Oh,
I was just like,
nice.
okay, keep going.
Dang, that could have.
Someone was looking out for you.
But with that being said, I still would have had to have taken the time to get it at Turtle Rock. So I don't think it cost me any
It's
time.
a little bit of time, yeah.
This is a good. It's a good mini game too. A Link Between Worlds is. It's got a lot of
bunch of fun ones.
Fun mini games.
The digging game, right?
It's got the two digging games.
Yep.
There's a low rule and high rule.
I don't like to think about digging games after A Link to the Past.
Yeah, that's a different story.
I will say, though, the digging game in A Link Between Worlds is a lot more fun.
More fun.
It's a combo of, like, the Postman. We were talking about this before, like, the Postman and Majora's Mask with the timer.
Yeah.
But, like, doing the digging game, too. So it's, like, stressful, but, like, you're making money off of it. So it's, like, high risk, high reward. You're not just pressing a button, hoping to get a heart piece.
The Kuko game is really good.
That is frantic in the Let's Play video. Yeah. I was, like, howling laughing in just watching you, like, dodge the Kukos. And, I don't know, that's a good time.
What else is there? There's Octo Ball, which is kind of annoying to do, but it's
America's pastime. It's Hyrule's pastime.
Octo Ball, I think, is my favorite minigame. Almost, I think, of the series.
Oh, wow.
I really enjoy it.
I don't know, there's like a chess, the Fortune's Choice, that's not really that good.
And the Cuckoo game, I hate it. It's so stressful.
But it's fun.
No, it's stressful.
It's a laugh riot.
Extra dodgems.
It's fun watching someone else play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's funny watching Goo do it, and Mossy's kind of like freaking out. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if I plugged the game in now and did it, I would be like sweating a little bit.
It's tough.
It's crazy. It's crazy time.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all the extra stuff. I guess there's the whatever the what's it called? It's not the Savage Labyrinth. What's it called?
Oh, what, the Trials? Not the Den of Trials. That's Triforce Heroes.
But close.
The Den of Madness.
Trials, Cave of Trials.
Yeah, they do have one of those.
Yeah,
what
that
is
one's
that
pretty
called?
fun.
Elias knows.
I don't really care for that either.
What, is this Face of Evil question?
No.
No.
A Link Between
for A
Worlds.
Link Between Worlds, they're
Oh no, I
Den of
actually
Trials.
so I
like
don't
that gauntlet.
I don't play a lot of the mini games in that game.
Oh yeah.
Because I played through this
Tower.
Treacherous Tower. That's
that makes more sense as a name.
Good version of that. Actually, I don't think I've ever done it.
I've completed it. It's a lot of fun.
I've not done a lot of the mini games in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, only really read about like Old Man Link.
Now you have time.
Yeah, you can indulge.
Doesn't want to
I
think
really
about
don't.
this game anymore.
I really don't.
Treat yourself to some Kuko abuse. Get slapped around by him.
Yeah.
No, this was a really cool race.
When is our next race?
Soon.
We have Phantom Hourglass coming up at
that a race?
1:30 in the morning, which is an hour from now.
Yeah.
We've got to come up with something else to do.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we'll find some.
I need to have some R&R, I think.
Yeah, ditto, and some sleepo.
We gotta get ready for the Legend of Zelda.
Oh yeah, the three of us.
Hey, you too, yeah. And when's your next race?
Mine is Link to the Past.
When's that?
It is. I'll be there in a minute. Thanks.
We gotta go get some Josh.
Yeah, we have wine to drink. So
who's gonna come on stream now and
Who's
entertain
next?
the crowd?